You're my sunshine, shine bright. Come on, baby. You're my starlight, shine bright. Come on, baby. When you're not here, I feel a little delirious. I want you to see what will be, 'cause I take it really serious. Yeah, yeah. You're my sunshine, shine bright. Come on, baby. You're my starlight, shine bright. Come on, baby.
Alrighty then. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Let me just make sure everything is all set up perfectly fine, because you know Streamlabs be going out of control sometimes. Nice, so it seems like we got sound and volume and all that stuff. Alrighty then, so I hope everyone is having a lovely Sunday evening. I have no idea where everyone is. That's in part for this stream as well, something I wanted to chat about a little bit. Yeah, so I mean, I'll give it a few more minutes before I kind of just, you know, I guess dive into it, because I don't want to make the stream super duper long. I'll try and keep it as short and sweet as humanly possible. So maybe like about 10, maybe 15 minutes. So let's see. But how's everyone? How's everyone feeling? I hope everyone's families are healthy. I hope everyone's vibing. I hope everybody having a good time, God dog. Like, you feel me? Like, let me see how many people we got in the chat right now. I got like 10 people. I mean, I think at the moment, it's probably as good as it's gonna get for the moment. It's kind of a last minute thing I decided to do, but I'm pretty sure some people will kind of pick up eventually, as I kind of share the video a little bit. But so you see the title of the video, and I kind of want to explain the reason why. And it's not necessarily nothing negative in terms of anything happening in my life per se, but just something I've been considering. But just obviously for people who probably don't feel like reading the title, I've been debating whether or not to take a break, or kind of just, you know, from this particular channel on YouTube. And I'm going to dive into my reasons why and all that jazz and all that stuff. Like I said, it has nothing to do with the fan base, you know, at least not my particular fan base. So, but I do want to talk about some things that have definitely crossed my mind, especially being someone who, you know, I consider myself, at least I used to consider myself a YouTuber. And, yeah, so let me see. We got 12 people in the chat. Let me see. Okay. So I can kind of start this discussion. So this channel, when I first started this channel, it was kind of on, like, not on and off, but you know, I didn't take it too serious. I wasn't expecting it to really, you know, take off in terms of getting, you know, too many subscribers. You know, I just wanted to see if I could do it. And you know, I did manage to get some sort of success. But just to kind of dive straight into it, for the most part, I must say recently this channel has been a little bit more you know, I think this channel has been a little bit more difficult to manage for one very specific reason. And just before I dive into that, let me answer, you know, some of the questions in here. So Elevation Allah said, before you leave YouTube, tell us where you're from, what country are you from? Well, I'm from the US, New York. I'm a New York resident, been born and raised in New York City my entire life. So yeah, that's pretty much about myself. Like I said, I'm not gonna leave YouTube in its totality. Yeah, I'm definitely not Jamaican or Trinidadian or anything like that. It's interesting though. Some people have said that based on how I look. Maybe I have some features, but yeah, I don't know. I definitely am not. That is not my ethnic background. I have a nice little. My father's black. My mother has a little bit of interesting things going on in her gene pool, but she's primarily, you know, black. But yes. So I started this channel as a way, you know, to kind of, initially I just wanted to talk about any and every show that I liked. You know, I wanted to talk about any show that I've enjoyed, like Game of Thrones. When I first started this channel, I was pretty much just uploading just for the sake of uploading. And what made it really enjoyable, I guess, is because in its purity in the beginning, I didn't really have to, I guess, worry about views. But then I saw that I kind of want a little bit more out of YouTube. I wanted to kind of collaborate and kind of communicate with other people and other people who are like-minded like myself, all that stuff. And I kind of got that, because even over time, even though I wasn't growing as quickly as other channels, that wasn't necessarily my, you know, mindset. Like, you know, I know people, you know, grow at different rates. And then I believe it was a little bit before the pandemic, I started to get some traction. And right around the Black Lives Matter protests and stuff like that, that's when a lot of people flocked to my channel. So the reason I scrolled to this page on the live stream specifically was that you see, like, it says a year ago, right? So this is when Black Lightning was still out. I was just kind of chatting about things that I enjoyed, like Black Lightning, Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger wrapped up too because the show was canceled. I was talking about Carnage. My views wasn't crazy. It fluctuated depending on the video and stuff like that. But, you know, it was relatively decent for the size I was at the time. And then around the time of the Black Lives Matter movement, I boomed kind of out of nowhere. A lot of people started to realize a lot of my content was focused on, you know, black superheroes, you know, Black Lightning. I did a couple Blade videos. I did a few other videos that were just focused around black characters, and that's what I wanted to do. And at the time I thought, hey, you know, cool. Like, there was mad people who was into that. They seemed to enjoy the fact that I'm making black content. So, you know, I just kept doing it. And that's what I really wanted to do. At the time, I didn't think, well, the time before that, I didn't think people would be interested. And then, you know, I was doing well for a little while. It was doing well for a little while. So around that time, that was the previous season of Black Lightning, when Wayne Brady was on there as a Gravedigger. Then you saw, like you can see on the screen here, you see as it kind of progresses, the views just took a instant spike up for Black Lightning, 17K. Then I did the, you know, the America's Hate the Idea of Black Heroes, 17K, Black and African, Black/African American Avengers Team Lineup, 91K, 43K. And then I was hovering around like a certain amount of views consistently for quite some time. And I guess what kind of, which is dope, and I appreciated the love. A lot more people were, just celebrating my channel, especially the Black Kryptonians, a more powerful thing. Just things I like to theorize and chat about and have a good time. But I guess more recently, as some of you probably may have noticed or may have not noticed, is that after all that stuff, in terms of in general, I've taken like a massive dip in views. Now, like I said, for me, it wasn't just simply about the views, or is it simply about the money. My thing was I wanted to communicate and reach more people, and which kind of leads me to my next point. One of the biggest issues I kind of had, I'll say something that's been going on for the last few months, is that it seems like, my channel, the Black content situation only becomes relevant when something is going on. Because I didn't just, hover around only Black Lightning. I did talk about, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, for example. I did talk about Black Samson from Invincible. I did, what's the name of this guy? The Flare from Jupiter's Legacy. I talked about anything Black comics, and I started even doing independent comics, where even some of the independent comics were, sponsoring videos because they wanted their comics to be seen and heard. So I wanted to kind of lean into that, because I think we should have more focus on Black characters, Black comics, and we deserve that as as Black people. We deserve that. We see all these characters, like, don't get me wrong, I love Superman, I love Batman, I love Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, I love Iron Man, I love Captain America, sure, but one thing they all have in common is they're white. And growing up being obviously a person of color, a Black person, it's dope reading the comics, for the powers, but I didn't really see a lot of stories that were written well that had Black characters. And I touch upon this in pretty much a lot of my videos, where the biggest issues we had with comics were the way that a lot of Black characters are written. They're never really written too well. And that's something that still seems to be plaguing the comic book community even now, where a lot of the comics are consistently about the same thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I think it is extremely important to talk about Black issues, Black problems, Black people, just the overall Black experience. I do think it's important, but we don't have to only focus on that. And I can understand why some people wouldn't want to watch videos about certain Black characters, because it seems like the only way they'll talk about Black characters is the only way they do it is unless they talk about the Black struggle. And Black people are way more than just the Black struggle. We have creativity, we have music, we have a lot of things to us. And unfortunately, the characters that I want to talk about, the characters that I kind of want to get into, the comics I want to read, I think it's kind of taking, I think it's only a part of the reason. One, it took a dip because they're just not as entertaining compared to, like, for example, when we had like, King in Black, for example, which was obviously focused more or less around, Eddie Brock and Noel, and, there was, you had the tie-ins and stuff like that, which are far better written stories, but obviously they kind of circled around white characters. And we have characters like, like Black Panther, who has dope stories, but I feel like his events are never as large or as big or as as well thought out compared to some of the other events that we've seen in Marvel Comics or even in DC Comics, even though recently DC, in my opinion, has not really been hitting like that, but that's something else for a whole nother day. So it's just been very difficult to make videos because I want to talk about things that are enjoyable, that not only enjoyable to myself, but to other people. And I do still want to focus on, Black characters and characters of color. But I can't blame people for not wanting to watch some of this stuff, because even though the characters themselves may be super dope, super interesting, their stories are not always great. And that's kind of the sad part. And the second reasoning I think too is I think there's a possibility that, YouTube is prioritizing different types of videos, because I know the algorithm changed absolutely. and it's solely based on what you watch. Where if, let's say, you watch a video about cutting onions, then over a sudden they'll recommend you to 10 different videos immediately on cutting onions. So I know the algorithm is very different, so it's easy for a channel, especially like mine, where I'm not really big, pause, to get buried. And so I think it's just in general, like, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with this channel at the moment, because I like talking about Bitterroot, for example, which, you know, even though it takes place in the 1920s, and even though that's like one of the prime eras in which racism was out of control, the story itself is still rich, plenty, because they have interesting concepts, interesting characters. But the downside is that not many people are reading Bitterroot, not compared to, let's say, Marvel Comics right now, which we know, you know, the whole MCU thing already blew it up to a proportion which cannot be matched right now, not even by DC Comics, because of the success of the MCU. And videos like that are doing really well. But then, you know, an issue that goes into Marvel Comics is like, yeah, there's characters who are black that take place in these events, but there's not too many stories where it's focused around those characters. So then I got to reach back, tell stories from the, you know, blast from the past. And then some people don't even like those stories, because I can't blame them yet again. They're not always well written when it comes to certain characters. And it's like this infinite loop when it comes to black characters, black content. It's like, it's either about the black struggle, they're poorly written, or the stories are just not as well thought out compared to, you know, their white counterparts. So it's just like, I'm kind of at a standstill right now with this channel. I'm pretty sure some of you already know, I do have another channel where I kind of focus on like my day job, where, you know, I'm a cinematographer. I work on creating stories, films, things like that. Something I've been working on for a while to, you know, really hone my craft, because I'm not just, you know, someone who only reads comics, but I also, you know, I'm just a person of creation. I make music, I make films, I do a lot of different things, and I want to be able to tell stories that obviously put other people of talent, other people of color in the spotlight, to show off their talent and their abilities and what they can bring to the screen, but also being able to tell stories in real time that people can fully wrap their heads around. And I know what Scott Alderson said, there's plenty of content about black. Absolutely, there's plenty of content about black superheroes. And like I said, I'm not saying immediately I'm going to just delete the channel and just be like, well, you're never going to hear from me again. It's just, I feel like there is this, as much, like I said, I enjoy Black Panther. I did cover, I think, I started covering Black Panther a little while ago, but I don't think anybody was really interested in it. I forget when. Because I did a video about Black Panther, but it wasn't like me reviewing the comic or breaking down the comic. It was more or less just like a new form that we are yet to see, that I think actually Marvel did allow to happen. So that one did, like, you know, well, obviously, but I forgot when. But I did a video about Black Panther, and I did a couple issues. It was about the origin of Black Panther. But yeah, and I did White Tiger 2, Casper Cole, who potentially could be Chadwick Boseman's replacement, essentially the New York version of Black Panther, who managed to get his hands on a vibranium suit. So that was a thing as well. And I do, like I said, I'm going to keep, for the time, I want to cover Bitterroot. But I just wanted to kind of have this conversation with y'all and let y'all know how I'm kind of feeling about the channel, and seeing, you know, one, before I decide, like, hey, I feel like this is going to be a complete and utter, you know, train wreck, kind of get some input about it. And also, I'm trying to, you know, stay where I can not only just talk about DC and Marvel, but I do want to talk about independent comics. But also, people don't seem to be interested in that as much as I am, and I know some people are, and I know some people who like being put on to new comics. Some things I know some people are not interested in. So I think there's just this standstill. But I wanted to get this conversation going because I really mean it, and when I say this in every video, I want a lot of you to answer this stuff in the comments. I want y'all to, like, if I drop a video, I need y'all to let me know, like, hey, you know, I want this comic covered. And I don't mean like just simply just throwing stuff for the sake of throwing in stuff, because when there's too many variations, it's really hard to just simply pick one, because especially I have to go get the comic, read it, sort through it, see if this is something that's, you know, suitable storytelling, and then I have to make the choice, and then I have to find something else, read it. There's a community tab in here. There's other ways to hit me up on Twitter, whatever the case may be. I might even start putting up polls more consistently, but I want to figure out what you guys enjoy before I decide whether or not I'm going to be like, all right, let me take a little mini break, kind of get my thoughts together, see how I'm going to attack this. But I guess I'll use this opportunity right now. So what's something like, you know, it could just be a few of y'all, for example. What's something that y'all feel like y'all would want to see? And what's something y'all would want to see in like this, you know, in this channel, knowing my channel, knowing the stuff that I put out? What's something that you've come to enjoy specifically about the channel? And then what would you want more of? You know, like I'm referring to characters like Blade, Black Lightning as examples, but what's something you would like to see from it? My bad, I was reading something. I got a text message. But yeah, just let me know what kind of things you would want from this channel. So I'm saying this now on live stream. I'm going to go over I did the second issue of Bitterroot. I did the first two so far. I did the first two issues. I did cover Black Chapter 1. And White Tiger, I already said I did that. Apparently the everyone on this everyone seems to enjoy Black Lightning because they always do better than everything else. Let me see. I did the story about the death of Miles Morales in a different story. Prejudice in Wakanda. I did so I might start doing a little bit more videos. Maybe I can dive into Sam Wilson, since he's officially Captain America. A channel that I've kind of been obsessed with lately is Star Wars Theories. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not like the biggest if I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but I like kind of the way he attacks his videos, where it's not just he does the comics of Star Wars, which obviously Star Wars is extremely lore rich, and it's still kind of focused in on telling one narrative, and most of the narrative is a story of Anakin and his downfall of becoming Darth Vader, and then him returning to Anakin and returning back to the light side and all that stuff. But that's something also I've been meaning to talk about. What's it, Mercedes? I do have to talk about the Milestone reboot. So that's something I do have to actually have a video about. And I have to keep reading it. I usually read things like maybe 2 or 3 times so I can really kind of flush through it, understand it, give my opinion, and then we can kind of move forward with it comfortably. So that's definitely something I have to keep in mind. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know this is something I've just been thinking about back and forth. It is not a finalized thought, but just let me know in this video, please. I'm asking you, all of you that are in this chat, everyone who watches this video in the future, please leave in the comments things that you want to see, things that you enjoy. Give me specific comics. If you want to see Spawn, if you want to see the Milestone reboot like Mercedes said, if you want to get more of Black Chapter 1, well, not chapter 1, like, chapter 2, and different stories. If you want more Bitterroot, if you want Black Panther, if you want Black Lightning, let me know what you want in the comments of this video, in the community tab, wherever you see there's a social media. Yeah, there's a Black Batman. I did the one about Tim Fox. I just haven't been reading DC Comics, Jonathan, so I'm gonna be honest with you. Their stories have not been pulling me in. But if y'all want that, if y'all enjoy that, if y'all want more, like, Tim Fox, let me know in the comments. I'm letting you know at this very second, everything that's being mentioned in the comments of this video is going to be my playlist. Well, not playlist, sorry. There's going to be my list of videos that I'm going to be going over for the next few weeks, until I really figure out if this is something I'm going to continue to do, like on a weekly basis, or maybe change up the style of my channel, whatever my choice may be. But in the comments of this video, in the community tab, let me know what it is that you want, so that way I can tackle them the best way possible. Let me know in the comments right this very second, like right now. Start typing stuff out, everything that you want to see, and I will go over it, and I will use that as my list moving forward for the next few weeks, and we'll see how that goes. And remember, don't be afraid to share the channel if you know anybody else who enjoys Black content. I like discussions. There are a few videos where I've had discussions with you guys, and it's like, it's not just, I don't like just feeling like I'm talking to myself. I like actually communicating, when there's a lot of people talking back and forth, healthy conversation that needs to be discussed when it comes to Black characters, when it comes to storylines, when it comes to plots, when it comes to opinions. As long as you're respectful, I can respect all opinions, and that's perfectly fine. But leave it in the comments of this video, and I will cover it. And I'm telling you, that's my word. Leave it in the comments, I will cover it, and then we'll see how this goes going forward. But I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. I hope you enjoy yourselves. And I hope everything moves smoothly in your lives. And I hope you continue to ascend, kings and queens. You feel me? And I will see y'all later this week, because I'll upload something based on what I see in the comments and in the community tab. And I will holla at y'all later on. Peace out.